Josh, first of all, thanks for your time, because I know you are busy at the moment and you're getting pushed hard. Tough pre-season, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not been easy. To be fair, the first few days were okay, and then we started doing some runs and the 1K, and yeah, it's been hard, but it's been enjoyable though.
It's worth it, isn't it? That's what you've got to do, get those yards in early. And I know that's a big thing Thomas is instilling in you guys as well, that hard work and fitness levels, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's one of our ethos, is to be a fit group, and yeah, just for me personally, I know I need to be fit and ready. So it's like a love-hate relationship sort of thing. Like you love it, but obviously it's hard. But yeah, it is what it is, and it just got to crack on.
How was the 1K test for you?
It was okay. I feel like I could have done better, but obviously in terms of groups, I won my group, so that's what I could do. So yeah.
When we posted it, we had fans going like, "Why is this so hard?" And like, people would have run 1K. Like, I've run 1K before,
yeah.
But like, why is it so much harder?
Because you got to sprint. Like that's what I'm saying. If you was to do 1K like jog, it's fine. Like, it's fairly easy, but obviously you got to keep a good intensity, and then basically the last 2 laps you just got to give it your all, and that's when you start feeling it. You're finished. You get dizzy. Your legs are gone. Do you know what I mean? It's not easy, but yeah, I think that's what makes it really hard. Just the last 2 laps you got to basically push, and that's what it takes out of you.
Yeah. You were doing bits in the summer though, weren't you, before you came back? Do you think that's helped you going into this?
Yeah, 100%. Obviously I knew that, especially from after my hammy injury, I was quite far off in terms of fitness, so I knew that over the summer I had to stay fit, and done some good bits here, went abroad and done some good bits as well, so yeah, I feel good.
Well yeah, let's talk about the last year, because it's been a tough year for you, mate, hasn't it? Like, how do you look back on that?
Tough, but good in a way. Like, I think it's obviously the stuff that's happened, I think majority of it was out of my control, so I just focused on what I could control, and that's just coming back as good as I could have. And yeah, I've got good family, good friends, and the people around here have been second to none. So yeah, it's not been easy, but yeah, it's just, I think I've handled it quite well.
It was a weird injury, like we were chatting. I still don't really understand what the injury was. Like normally when you see an ACL or a leg break or something like that, like the horrific injuries, but you kind of understand them a bit more. With yours, it was such a unique injury. Like, what exactly was it, and did that make it harder for you as well because it was such a unique injury?
In simpler terms, I obviously lost a bit of bone in my hip and it was swollen, so basically I had to wait for it to go down and wait for the bone to repair and stuff like that. And yeah, like when you're speaking to the best specialist in the UK and he's saying that he hasn't really seen this in sports people before, and it's just like, oh, do you know what I mean? But
is it alarm bells when you're hearing that?
Well, the initial conversation, he said, okay, you might not be able to play again. And I laughed because I knew that, come on, nothing stopping me from playing. So I just knew that, okay, whatever time it took for me to get back, that's what it will be. And yeah, I didn't really, as you said, there weren't really no alarm bells. Of course, it's like, wow, because initially I thought it would have been like a 8 to 12 week injury, and then it's like, ooh, you're gonna miss a year. If you like, and that's the best case scenario, you might miss longer. So it's like, okay, all right, cool, let's get cracking. Like, let's just get on with it.
And what is that rehab like? Because again, with these other injuries, strengthen the area around a knee or something. How do you heal that?
Yeah, it's just a lot of patience. Like, I had to go into hospital, get some injections and stuff like that. But it's literally for the first 7 months, like I couldn't really do much. I was obviously on crutches for, I think, 4.5 months. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, so just like bearing in mind, I could walk fine. I didn't feel no pain when I was walking, but it was just about offloading the hip as much as possible. So around the house, it was good, but as soon as I stepped out of the house, I had to be on crutches for as long as 4.5 months. So yeah, just a lot of patience and a lot of waiting around, a lot of scans as well.
Oh, right.
Yeah, having a lot of scans, and thankfully it's all gone to plan.
Weren't you saying that some of those sessions in hospital were just like, you would just sit there? And
yeah, literally. So I'm in there for 5 days, and I'm just on the drip basically, just intaking, helping the blood go through my body and help the hip repair. So I had to do that. I had to do that for 5 days. I went in 3 times, which was unique to be fair, but I didn't care really. I just wanted to get whatever to get the hip healed as quick as possible. That's what I done.
And is there any side effects when you're sat there doing that?
Yeah, just crazy headaches.
Really?
Yeah, crazy headaches, because it's pumping the blood through your body as well as to your head. So it's just like I'm sitting there and I'm just like, my head's just pounding off.
See, when you're talking about this, it's not like a football. It seems like a completely different thing. It's not like a sports injury. It doesn't sound like it's.
Yeah, well, sometimes I didn't really think too much into it. Like I'm just going into it thinking, listen, I just need to get this hip better.
Yeah.
And we done it the first time, and the hip came back good. So I went in again, came back better. Went in again, came back. So that was all my mindset, is just get the hip good. That's all I really cared about, to be honest.
But I filmed you towards the back end of kind of your rehab and near to the finish line, and but I also saw over the season you were coming in a lot of the time when the lads were leaving, and it would be late nights here and coming in on your crutches away from the group. You're a really positive person. You're always really fun around the place. Did it test you?
No, I think I accepted it quite quickly, and I knew that I was going to be out for a while. So obviously it tested me, because sometimes I went through stages, I would say, because sometimes you're in the gym and it's just like, I want to be out there, and I enjoyed being around the boys, and then sometimes you're not around the boys. I'll come in at like 12 when the boys are finishing up, like outside. Like I like watching them train, for instance, when they're finishing up, and then obviously I'll leave late. So in a way it did, but obviously, for one, I've got a good family, I'm a believer in God, so I just knew just to stick by who I am, and I know that I'll be able to get through it.
Yeah, and well, you got the long-awaited comeback. It was a tough comeback, because obviously you make the start at Arsenal, and you start against Newcastle.
Yeah.
The red card, look, I've had so many arguments, right, about this red card and about them in general. We've both clearly got opinions on it.
Yeah.
I don't understand how accidents can become sendings off, but that's not for us to discuss here. What was your emotion when, obviously, we win the free kick, and then it becomes obvious there's going to be a VAR check here?
Well, now 80% of the time when the ref goes to VAR that there's a decision to be made, and I didn't obviously know at the time. So when he's come and come through the back of me, I didn't know at the time that I've actually touched him in any sort. So I've gotten up. Obviously, it was our free kick, and then he's still on the floor. So I'm thinking, okay. And then the ref, I think Mike Dean, because he's giving me both of my red cards.
I was going to say, it was the same one from Spurs.
He's giving me both of my red cards. He's gone to point at the monitor, and I just knew from there,
Because you didn't really react when he's shown you the red. Like, some people would protest, but you were just, what was that? Because you just...
Yeah, what do you get out of protesting? Like, he's not going to change his decision. He's gone to the monitor. They've told him to go to the monitor. Then he's gone to look at himself and then give me the red. So there's not really much I could do. And obviously I've gone inside and I've gone to look. Because I didn't know, that's what I'm saying, I didn't know.
What had happened?
And then I've gone to look and I was like, ooh. Obviously I could see why they've given the red, but if you know football, you know that wasn't my intention at all. Yeah.
And again, mentally you thinking, I've just worked so hard to come back, and now an accident's cost me, because it weren't, if that was a championship, you'd probably play in a week or so's time, because it was 3 game weeks a lot of the time. It was 3 weeks, they made an international break, so it was 4 weeks that you weren't going to play again. So what was that like for you after working so hard to get back to playing Premier League football, something you dreamed of your whole life?
Yeah, it was hard, because obviously, as you said, I felt like I was getting back into the swing of things. I felt good that game as well. I felt like, and obviously it was a big game for us, and we was around each other in terms of the table. So it was frustrating, and then it's just one of them ones where you know that you're going to be out for a while. So it's just about maintaining fitness, and just trying to make sure that when the games do come back around, that I'm back in contention.
What was it like when you were in the change room? And I imagine the lads then come in at half time. Is anyone coming up to you? Are you saying, did you do a big speech, or is it basically let them focus on the job that they've got in hand here, because they've got another 45 minutes? Yeah,
that game I didn't say much. I think everyone knew that it was an accident. If I had lost my head and I lost composure, then obviously I think it would have been a different story. But there's not really much I could have done in that situation. You know, obviously I knew that I let the team down because it was a massive game and they had to play 10 men for 80 minutes of the game. So the boys did come up to me and obviously just spoke to me. But yeah, it's one of them things in football, innit? You can't really do much about.
Because it's, we kind of joked about Mike Dean sent you off twice for this. And are you subconsciously having to think, I might have to change the way I protect the ball, I might have to change the way I do these kind of things now?
No, I think it's not happened enough for me to do that, you know. Obviously, especially with VAR, okay, maybe, but no, not yet. I think maybe if it happens a few more times, God forbid, but if it was to happen a few more times, then maybe, but until then, you know, because I've done it a million times and, you know, it's just that occasion, so. Yeah.
Then you come back in on the Monday. Had you calmed down? Is it back of your mind at this point?
No, so I knew coming in Monday I just got to train hard for 4 weeks, you know, because obviously we had the international break. So I had 4.5 weeks, I knew I just had to train hard to maintain fitness. And I'll go and do my hammy.
Do you think that was a result of?
Maybe, who knows, I don't know. Like, I think that if I'd played that whole game, then I probably wouldn't have done my hammy and I would have finished the season strong.
Is that because you were trying to do more in that week?
Obviously I knew, so I knew in my mind that I was already playing catch up in fitness, so I knew that, okay, I won't play a game for 4.5 weeks, so I need to make sure that I'm fit. So I was just going into the Monday session thinking, listen, I need to get as much as I can out of every single session. And then, towards the end of the session, I just kind of done my hammy. So
then you've got that set up, then you come back from that again, so it's another setback. How did you feel coming back, playing wise? Like, did you feel like the Josh that we'd seen in the Championship?
Obviously, I feel like it's just in terms of fitness, I knew that I was too far away from the boys in terms of to catch up, because obviously you've got to, in a hammy, you've got to do a lot of rehab, and then you can't sprint until the later part of the rehab, and to catch up with the boys, I feel like I was too far off. So in terms of technically, I was fine, but just being able to, you know, sprint, you know, we like to play high intense and press, and to be able to do that, I think that's what restricted me in that sense.
How frustrating is that? There's not much you can do about it.
Yeah, literally, the only thing you can do is just play games and try to get the fitness up as much as possible. But we was in a difficult position and I wouldn't expect Thomas to just give me a game because I need fitness. Like, we're in the real world. Like, we need points. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, so it's frustrating, but it's just about focusing what I can affect, and that was when I did come on the pitch to try and help the team.
And at least now you've got that experience of the Premier League going into this year, I guess.
Yeah.
How did you find that experience of Premier League football? How different was it to what you played before? Because you played international football, obviously Championship as well, and you played cup games for Arsenal and stuff like that. So how did you find it? Yeah,
it was good. You know, I just feel like if you make a mistake, you're in trouble.
Right.
Yeah, if you make a mistake, you're in trouble. So it's about limiting the mistakes you make. Obviously, I would say as fast, maybe a bit faster than the Championship. But I'll just say, you make a mistake, you might have someone running in on goal, and you know, he doesn't really miss. So,
But like you say, you've got now that experience under your belt going into this year. Looking in this season, I want to talk to you about yourself personally, but we've seen Paris, Matt and Finn move up to the first team officially this summer. I know you're close with Paris. For people that maybe haven't seen too much of him, you see him first hand, day in, day out, and you've played with him. What can we expect from Paris?
I think he's quite similar to me in a certain sense. Like, he's very calm on the ball, very calm and collected, passes through lines. He puts in a tackle as well, here and there. And he's just a very intelligent footballer. You know, uses his brain quite a lot. He's not physical as big as I am, but he knows how to use his body. So I think it's very good for him to obviously be with us now full time, because I think he can learn a lot just in terms of being in and around the boys, and we'll push him. So I think so I think it's good for him to make the step up. I feel like he's ready as well.
I was chatting to Daniel Oyegoki yesterday, and he mentioned yourself, and he said how good you've been with him, and kind of little words of wisdom and a little bits of advice, and I see you walk in with Paris as well, and imagine you're doing the same with him. What kind of stuff do you say to the lads?
Obviously, I was at around their age. This is when I joined Brentford, you know, and I feel like there's a big jump coming from academy football to first team football. So I just give them little pointers and little things that I had to learn, you know what I mean, on the way, just to try to help them adapt as quick as possible. So yeah, when I was here, I had the likes of Roman, Nico, and obviously I had the young lads as well, like Ezri was here, Vico was here, so that I bonded quite quickly with them. But I had the older boys, do you know what I mean, put things into place. So I think I can just, whatever I obviously learned over the years, I just try and give them a few bits here and there just to try to help them when they come as well.
What did you find hard when you first come up?
I'll just say the intensity. Yeah, because coming from Arsenal, having a lot of the ball, and you know, you're playing with the likes of Joe, Eddie, Reece, and then coming here and then just men's football, it's different. You know, it's the whole mindset and everything is different. So I think the intensity was something that I struggled with in the beginning.
It is intense. The sessions, like we said at the start, like you said there as well, you push each other, didn't you? Like the possession session I watched the other day, and I thought, right, naivety, like before I come down here, that maybe in pre-season especially, or in general, be quite nice, no real tackles, but you're flying in with each other, aren't you?
Yeah, like we train how we play. Yeah. You know, that's what Thomas is. He says that he picks his selection comes from training. So, you know, everyone wants to play at the end of the day, and if you need to stop that ball going into the goal or stop it going into that man, then you got to do what you got to do. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's intense, but that's how it is when we're playing Man City at the Etihad or Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. You know what I mean? It's not. We can't let them play around us. So we've got to be intense, and we've got to, you know what I mean, be ready for that. So that's why in training, we set the standards.
And how are you feeling personally and physically? Because you look sharp out there.
Yeah, no, I feel good. Obviously, I had a good summer, rested well, but also worked well. And just coming in, having a pre-season, I think it makes a big difference. You know, like I haven't had many pre-seasons where I could start from the start. Do you know what I mean? Because of internationals and injuries. So it's just good to be able to come back in a good place and then work well towards the start of the season.
I say all the time, I'm the luckiest man in the world doing this job for many reasons, but seeing you guys out there, the cliche is you'll be like a new signing this summer. I completely agree with that, and not only that, you're a new signing that knows this club inside out, knows how we work, knows the players, knows the coaching staff, and we already know what an unbelievable footballer you are. So I'm absolutely buzzing, and you seem like someone that's hungry at the moment. Is that how you feel, hungry?
Yeah, I feel like I've missed out a lot, so I owe a lot. So I just feel like, whenever my time comes, I'm ready to show what I'm about and just enjoy my football. And I feel like it's been a while. Like I've loved watching the boys, and I just want to be a part of it now. So I can't wait.
Amazing, mate. Thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
Cheers. Thank you.
Daniel, Matt, cheers for joining me. How are you both?